Like work at a Panera.
Yeah. Well, socialism maybe, and
And look what I was a little different than that.
I get it, I get it. I used to have someone that did all that stuff, but now he's a big wig in some company, so he can't do that shit for me anymore.
He still remembers all your passwords though.
I know.
Oh, him?
This is my first admin ever. I didn't know what admin was until Hannah came into my life.
Because you were working with 85-year-old women
That is true.
who, didn't turn on the computer because they were gonna get an
That's true.
email hacked.
Yes, remember that?
Yes, I do. I think it scarred me forever. The dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. I didn't turn that computer on during the day.
And then they shouldn't be using their phones, if they're so afraid of that.
Well, this is back a while ago, but
Oh, no, they had phones.
they wouldn't turn the computer on because they were afraid it was gonna get hacked.
But
So they-
but their
they kept-
phone is okay, that their phone.
Well, we had flip phones back then. It was-
No, it was 2012.
We had the Motorola, what is
Mhm,
that?
mhm.
I always had a BlackBerry.
Yeah, the
before.
Blackberry,
I had
Crackberry.
those too.
I was gonna say, at that point, I think everyone pretty much had a BlackBerry or iPhone by 2012. They were just,
I was on the
the company
Crackberry.
email
for a
also
while.
was,
It was the Crackberry.
the company email was also.
AOL.
AOL account.
AOL,
So, you know,
That's
the
right,
other
and that's how,
problem.
when I'm going through like for onsite and I see AOL, it's like, oh, fogey.
Like
They are.
like the office email,
Right.
Was an
Office
AO,
like the company main email that went to MLS was like C21S@AOL.com.
Yeah,
Like,
that's,
it wasn't even hidden that it was AOL.
Well,
this
it's-
one blacked out.
it's all,
Did we hide it back then? I don't know. Was we that sophisticated? I don't
You
think.
could, yeah, if you paid. Did not.
It worked for what we had to do.
as you know, times have changed.
Change.
Is this sharing?
Huh?
That one keeps like going in and out.
Yeah. Why it does that? Hey, everyone, we're getting started shortly. Our master of ceremonies is taking a sweet time. How are we all doing today? Are we all ready for some Instagram hands-on training? Make sure you have your phones out, and this is the only time I'm ever gonna say this, have your phones out and your Instagrams open. I know Greg is gonna be doing hands-on training today with you guys. For those of you in the room, Augie and I are around to help you in the room. And I'll try and monitor the chat online to help those at home. Great, that's all the vamping I got here. I'm gonna start singing soon. Memory, all alone in the moonlight.
Still into Barbara.
I will never not be into Barbara. How dare
I don't
you?
want to get in the shop.
She is the.
Hey, see, I mean,
I'm
this next. I just want this shot of me with long almond crescent nails on my tombstone.
Take all those
You should
water
be
bottles
there.
away.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, you'll tear
It's just like I'm in a tank top and not a proper store. If you look from here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Fine.
I wore a tank top the other day. My son wore a tank top, black tank top. I wore a black tank top.
It's
Both my
just too
sons.
hot.
And I was like, we could be the white beater family.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But I would be the husband beater.
You would enjoy it. Little too much.
Get together and plan
See? We were just talking about husband beater.
All right, we're all good? Everyone's here?
it.
How many people do we have here on the Zoom? A handful? Cool.
That's why God invented your browser to save the password.
Even I don't have my laptop. I have my iPad.
But what you should be doing is.
Marie, I have hot oil for you. I'm gonna put it in your desk.
Google no matter where. That's it.
I'm coming.
Good.
Maybe I should download it.
It's actually for Hector.
Oh, yeah, I know. Forget me, right?
Well,
I don't need nothing.
well, the funny thing is Hector didn't forget my husband. Your husband forgot
Yeah,
about.
that's true. That's true. All right, I'm working.
Hi, Michael.
I'll make sure you stay hydrated.
Thank you.
All right, so we are all good to go, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
You're not sharing your screen yet.
Nah,
Just
yeah.
walking.
Everyone could hear me, right?
Yes.
No, you might
I don't know.
Cool.
Yes, they can hear you.
All right.
In the upper right corner, you should be able to see.
Who cares?
You're
if
All
I'm-
right, we need to cut down the talking in here because hard to hear it online.
All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a class about Instagram. It's gonna be a little bit more than just like how to post and things like that. It's really gonna be how to properly kind of utilize it, especially on the video side, because that's really where all the platforms are going now. So
You're gonna have to do a video?
yes,
Oh
you
my
guys will
God.
have to. But it's gonna consist of a few things. It's gonna consist of, to start, different types of videos, specifically types of videos that you could do very fast and very easy that don't require to have like an editor or anything like that. Just something you could do to stay consistent. From there, we're gonna go into probably what I think is one of the most important things, which is your minimal viable content, which I'll explain. That's the content that you can repeat. And then we're gonna go into the proper steps on how to research, script, record, and actually post your content to make sure that you aren't just doing one piece of content, but you're doing content that is going to be able to put out throughout the week, throughout the month. So you're not going through the rut of like, I don't know what to post. I don't know how to stay consistent. So we're gonna try and solve all that with this. That being said, it's going to be a very hands-on class. It's not really gonna be, I'm not gonna share my screen to a PowerPoint presentation. It's gonna be actually showing you types of videos, the steps that I do myself when I'm doing my own content, or I'm doing, Andrew's content with RCG, and really go into that side of it. So first, I'm going to start off with easy content that you guys can make. Before I do that, do any of you guys make content on your own, record videos on your own? I think I know Connor might be one of the only person. I don't
Every now and then,
Marie, don't.
every now and then.
Cool.
You don't have your own backdrop.
So I'm gonna go over with you guys the 5 pieces of content that I think are some of the easiest to create and also require the least amount of high-end editing and things like that. So the first one we're gonna talk about is the talking head / content, talking head / podcast content. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show you some examples, and then we're gonna kind of get into that. So let me know if you guys can all see this here. Yep, everyone can see it. Cool. So I'm gonna pull up a few examples of these pieces of content so you guys can kind of get a feel for it, and then we're gonna talk about how to do it. Oh, actually, yeah, full screen.
Places.
I'm gonna have to share with audio though. Everyone
Those
can see it
people.
here, so let me do that really quick. Cool. All right. One sec.
Hello. So happy to see everybody.
Wow, that's now allowed in 2 different places. Jeez, that was an entrance.
Cool. All right.
She hangs out with a baby for 2 weeks.
Oh my God, she's so.
So I have 3 examples for this first one. We're gonna play them quick. We won't play them all the way through, but just so you guys can get a quick feel of what it looks like. This is the first one.
And surviving in today's economy, and it's broken into different groups. If you're someone who's 18 to 25 with no student loans, not trying to buy a house, and don't have children, you could probably thrive on $50,000, $60,000 a year. Now, you will have to have a roommate, but you're going to have money left over at the end of the month. You can invest for your future and have an emergency fund. But if you're
So that is one of the examples. It's just him talking to his phone straight up like this. And all the editing on that one is done in the Instagram app. The next one I'm gonna go show you is this one.
Called Talking Head.
Talking head, yeah. This next one here. Same thing. This one.
90 pieces of content.
Podcast one?
First, we need 30 ideas. We're gonna break it up into 10. 10 ideas are for the fresh meat audience. People who are new to you, people who are new to your industry, people who just discovered Omar or just discovered me or whoever.
So this guy is not actually talking to anyone. He is just there recording himself. This guy actually notoriously will set up a camera, face this way, and just talk for 30 minutes straight and get clips from it. Super easy to do and set up. And the last example I want to show you is this one.
I will
here.
say, while we're pulling that one up, I do that one. It's amazing how many people tell me, I love your podcast. I listen to it all the time. I've never put out a full podcast, so I'm getting credit for doing all the work of putting out a podcast.
Still that big microphone.
It is, it's the big microphone and posting it on YouTube, people are on Instagram, and people are like, I love your podcast. I'm like, never put one. Thank you.
We need a microphone in the office.
Yeah, I have one at home.
And then this is the last one, very similar to the first
Morning.
one.
I'm going to be walking you through how to buy a home by 2030.
Everything you see
That
on
means
the
you'll be able
screen.
to own real estate within the
Editing
next
the
5
app.
years. And to be able to tell you that, it's going to require a little bit of conversation between you and I. What I would like for you to do is, if you don't have time to watch this video, hit favorite and to be able to watch this.
So you can see all three of those examples is just someone talking to their phone. Even the podcast one, probably shot on an iPhone. And it's very, or an Android
No, it
too.
looks better.
But these are really easy. They're all just grab and go videos that you could do just by having your phone and recording. You don't need like the professional setup, professional camera, anything like that, which is a big misconception. So this is one of the very easy ones you can do. You can do it anywhere. You can do it when you're sitting down. You can do it. This guy's doing it in his car. So those are the first examples. The next video I want to get into is reactions. These are like notorious for helping people get a lot of views on social media, because the way reactions work is you are reacting to either a current trending topic that is going on that everyone's going to want to hear about, or you're going to be reacting to a video that has already gone viral. In fact, the first video that we ever did that went viral for Andrew got like, I think like 1.2 million views, was reacting to someone else's video that already did really good. So I'm going to show you a few examples. You're going to see a green screen example, and you're also going to see a reaction to an actual video. So the first one here is going to be that green screen.
Money. Gen X is like, is it all about money? Millennials are like, where is the money? And Gen Z is like, what is money?
Amy Poehler absolutely nailed this. This is a true representation of how money has been declining.
So that is an example of reacting to a video while doing the green screen. That is also shot within the app. He doesn't have a fancy editor. The apps have a way to put a green screen on and put the text on the screen. He just found a video that he liked that went viral already, and then just put himself on it and recorded it.
And when Greg says green screen, he means it just takes out the background. There's not actually a green screen behind him. You don't need a green screen. It's the same thing as when you guys are on Zoom and you put a virtual background on.
Yep. Next example I'm going to show is very similar, same guy.
If anybody does need, we do have a green screen inside the office along with camera tripods for your phones and like.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Point.
So this is the same exact guy, except now you'll see he's not reacting to a video. He's reacting to something trending or something going on or something that people are interested in behind. So
Exaggerating, 150K is not the new 60K, but it is when it comes to housing. This house is for sale for $450,000. Do you want to guess what the monthly payment would be today? $3,700. Now,
So this is him reacting to a very common topic, which is essentially, are homes affordable? That is always going to get views because everybody from the age of 18 to 65 wants to know if they can afford a home based off their salary. And putting that screen behind them is just an easy way to take a quick screenshot of Zillow or whatever you're on and have a reaction off of that. And the last one,
I'm sorry, do we need permission to?
So when you're,
Just use it.
so you don't need a permission when it's actually on the website. So you're not representing, like you're literally showing it on Zillow. And you are not taking away from the agent or any way. You're just talking about the listing on Zillow.
and the last one I want to show is a full reaction. This one's one that Andrew did of an actual video.
Big house. House cost 100 fish. Kitty check wallet. Kitty only 10 fish. Kitty cry. No fish for house. Kitty go bank. Bank kitty sit at important table. Bank kitty say, we give fish for house, but you pay back with extra fish. Kitty happy, kitty agree. Now kitty own house. Kitty pay bank 5 fish every month. Kitty pay for long time, maybe forever. Kitty sleepy. Kitty nap. Kitty wake. Kitty pay. Oh no, what that? Fish rate go up. Now kitty pay more fish for same house. Kitty must pay. But if kitty have no fish for pay, bankman take house. Bankman sell house to other kitty.
I don't know what the hell I just watched. It just reminds me of the shorts that my daughters watch. Anyway, listen, the truth of the matter is I'm more of a dog guy. Sorry, kitty. But look, that's an example of an adjustable rate mortgage.
So this is a good example of that video. I think on TikTok got like 1.2 million views of the cat. And it was a very simple way that anyone can understand how to buy a house essentially. So you take that video and you react to it with what it is. So he goes into saying like, they were talking about adjustable rate mortgages and how that can go up and down and all that stuff. And so that's just another example. That requires an editor to do it like that, but there is a way to actually do that in the Instagram app, which I'm going to show at the very end of like the class. So that's the second piece of content that anyone could do on the go really quick. Third one is question and answer. I'll probably just show one or two of these just because I want to make sure that we get everything in, but this is the first one.
My property taxes go up after I bought my house.
That's the most common question I get about a year after my clients buy their home. So let me show you why that happens.
So that's one example. Someone asks a question, someone answers it. Here is a second example really quick.
Instagram hack most people don't know.
Yeah, I'll show you in 15 seconds. So if you click in this little search bar on Instagram, click the search page.
Play that from the start again, so you guys can.
What's an Instagram hack most people don't know?
Yeah, I'll show you in 15 seconds. So if you click in this little search bar on Instagram, click the.
So same thing, question, answer, the next question, you answer it. And then probably one of the easiest ways to do this is this last example here.
The real hack was using Instagram on your iPad in that video.
30 points after I paid off my student loans. I don't get it. I thought paying off my loans would help. My credit score dropped 30 points after I paid off my student loans. I don't get it. I thought paying off my loans would help my credit. That's actually very common. So there's a catch-22 here.
So this one is probably the easiest to do because all he did is read a fake question that he found on Google and just answered it. You could, and I'm actually gonna show you after this, we're gonna get into it on the research side, but you could do 20 of these videos in 20 minutes and you have enough content for the month. So that's just another easy way to do quick, easy content that works and gets views. So that's number 3. Number 4 is multitasking. And this one I like personally because you could turn anything you're doing throughout the day into a video. So essentially what multitasking videos are is you making dinner, you doing your makeup, you working, and just talking about something while you're doing it. It's very popular and a lot of people go viral from doing that. So here's just a quick example of that.
Stop believing that solar panels add the type of value that you think they do to your house. And let me explain real quick. But first, if you're new here, I'm Fiona the Lender. I've been a lender for 10 years and I help people every single day from this app, buy, sell.
No vanity.
I can't believe I haven't made a video about this before because it is
So essentially she is just doing something that she would be doing regardless. She's probably going to some event, and while she's getting ready for that event, she is just giving you information that is valuable. And this person in particularly, if I go to her page, she has generated 200,000 followers, and a good chunk of her videos are either that or those reaction green screen videos that we were talking about.
And mind you, she's a lender. She's talking about real estate stuff.
And the last thing is conversations. This is something that I enjoy these videos a lot. I think they're more fun than the other ones. They do require 2 people. That's the only thing, or it requires yourself acting as 2 people, and you'll see that in a second. But we do this a lot with Andrew's content. So the first example is this.
Make an hour?
Around 70.
And you work how many hours a week?
40 hours.
I know.
What do you do for a living?
I work in construction. So essentially, it's just a regular conversation that you would have talking about a topic that is important to people, but you're just relaying that information as a conversation. So you could do it that way with 2 people, or you could do it with yourself individually, just facing 2 different ways.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's kind of
Your
fun.
credit score jumped like 100 points in a week. Rapid Rescore. It's a game changer, especially if you're trying to qualify for a mortgage or lower your interest rate. I thought credit score updates took like months. Normally, yeah.
So all that is him having the camera here, him looking this way and talking, then him turning and looking this way and talking, and just stitching it together. Can also be done in the app. You don't need that fancy background or anything. Can be done in the Instagram app as well. So those are what I consider to be the 5 main and 5 easiest ways to make content. I'm gonna go into Instagram really quick. I actually I'll share my screen on my phone, and I'm gonna go into what I consider being the most important part of content, of creating content on social media.
Yeah,
How do we
You just turned it on. Oh, it's just this one too.
I do that.
I was just.
Randomly start sweating a month.
Connor's got the best fan.
Where's your friend? Oh, I bought it.
I almost grabbed her.
Oh, nice, thank you, getting fancy there.
Connor, it's being recorded.
Yes.
Thanks.
No, there's gonna be a test at the end of this.
All right, so
Taking
you guys can
notes.
all,
Good.
so you guys can all see my phone, correct?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So before I go into this, I want to talk about the next topic. Definitely recommend writing this down. It's probably the most important thing, I think, when it comes to creating content on social media. It's your minimal viable content. And all that essentially is the piece of content that you can make the fastest, the easiest, and can get you the most views. What I mean by that, obviously, is all those 5 pieces of content, you can try all of those. Some of them are going to take you a lot longer. Some of them you're going to post on your page and you're going to realize, wow, this video did terrible. Some of them you're going to post and this video is going to clearly outperform the other ones. You want to find the one that gives you the best results while saving you the most time to do consistently on a basis. So for example, when we do Andrew's content, I write out 20 to 30 video scripts every week for him, which comes up to like around 120 pieces of content a month that we are scripting out for him. That takes a ton of time in the grand scheme of things. So we found a way to find his minimal viable content, the easiest ones that we can do the fastest. So it saves myself time scripting during the week and saves himself time recording. So if we're looking at his page, for those of you who know him or don't know him, he has videos where he does conversations like
So
the
how
ones we
much do
showed
you make an
before.
hour?
Around 120.
All right, and you work about how many hours a week?
He has all of these.
So how
Like
much
this
did you
one
say you
got
make
5
an hour?
million views.
Around 70.
This one got 4 million views. If you look at some of the ones on TikTok, we got a few million on that one. I'm sure this one with
They make
30,000
about
views. Same
$100,000
exact
a
style.
year, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking to buy a
All this is taking the same exact format and just reusing it for a different topic. So if the conversation is working for you, you could do one about seller concessions, a conversation, and then you could do a conversation about home prices, and you can do a conversation about best way to invest in real estate. Just taking that same format and making it into a bunch of different pieces of content will help you, 1, create content a lot faster, 2, stay consistent on content, because the number one reason people don't do content is because it takes a very long time. So by finding something that works for you and you could do very often, very quickly, will help you, 1, grow your page, grow your channel, and 2, save you a lot of time. And basically everything we've got on his page, and now we're actually across 200,000 followers across all the platforms. I think we have like over 70 million views generated. I would say a good credit to that is us being able to find what we could do fast and what we could do consistently that also will get results, which is those type of videos, and then occasionally the reaction videos that we do as well.
Have you
Right.
paid,
Okay.
I'm sorry, have you paid for any followers?
No, so this is all organic. I highly discourage buying followers. Is probably the worst thing you could ever do. And then paying for ads that are directly correlated to gaining your followers also isn't the best, because you're pushing out to a target that didn't find you organically. So they're only following you because there's money put behind it. And then it kind of hurts a little bit. So if you're going to run ads, do it for promotion wise. So do it for generating leads and do a campaign on that end rather than like the growth of your channel.
Do you know how many leads were generated from all of this stuff?
So we average, I don't have the number off the top of my head, but we average around 20 leads / conversations a week. So it's either capturing an email or a number, something like that, or conversations started in the DMs that we then can nurture by reaching out to them in the DMs and eventually converting. Obviously that's compiled over 2 years of doing this and constantly doing this, posting, a minimum of 7 times a week. We've posted more, even 2 or 3 times every single day before. But yeah, around 20 a week between leads / conversations had are generated from it.
And how much time do you spend on filming with Andrew to get to that point?
So
Let's say.
for us,
As little as possible.
it's usually 2 or 3 hours in the week. We can usually get 15 to 20 videos done. That's for us
That's a lot.
recording it.
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah,
like
no, we need
that
channels, too.
is, I think that's slow. I think we can go a lot faster than that. he takes his time sometimes when doing it.
Yeah.
But if you are finding the one thing that's easy for you to record and you just have your phone and you're not worried about
You could
how to
knock
set up,
off.
you could do the questions very fast, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is answering the question with your own expertise. You guys all been in real estate forever. You know the answers to all these questions and all these topics. So if you find the way that works best for you, you could really record 20 videos in an hour, honestly. And then just edit them in the app or use the app to put the text on the screen and post it.
I will say, like, the last time we did a video shoot, we kind of found what I do best, which was like the asking a question, and then, like, you know, he popped into my office. I was sitting at my desk and I was just talking about NAR reports that just came out. It was so low tech, and like, really, I wasn't reading a script. Greg and I talked about the question ahead of time. I think we got through like 15 videos in 45 minutes. Because it was just, you know, one, I knew the report already, so it was something I wanted to talk about. But I was able to just be like, oh yeah, like, let me answer that question. Like, you know, look here, but you couldn't really see the screen. It was just a prompt for, you know, prompt for me. But I found that that was like what worked for me to go quickly.
So did you put the content out or did Greg put the content out?
So I sent it to Greg, he edited it and he scheduled it through. So Greg has all of your guys' social media's accounts already, and he has a scheduler set up, so he scheduled it for me. So he puts it out. The only thing I do is I go and I share it to my personal, only because you cannot schedule stuff to a personal account. And I get business from both.
So if I'm on my phone and like say I record myself like you do normally do, I could say, okay, Greg, this is a content. But I mean, at that point, it's just one, I could do it myself. So can I just like do multiple recordings? and
Yeah,
Send it to
the
you?
goal is to bulk record, and we'll actually get into like that whole process of how to find what to record and everything like that, but definitely bulk record when you're doing it.
Once you have the format that you like, how do you come up with the ideas for topics?
That is the very next thing we're gonna go over.
That's why we.
20 seconds each. There's trends.
So we're also gonna go over that too. There is an easiest way, the video should be as short as it possibly can be while still getting the information across. If that takes 90 seconds, that's fine. If it takes 3 minutes, that's fine. If it takes 30 seconds, that's fine. But if you write a script and you are saying a video and you see it's 3 minutes long and you're like, I could have really done that in 45 seconds, cut it down to 45 seconds, to get the information across.
And don't forget, with visual content under a minute, it's then now viable in multiple platforms. So
Yeah.
you can share that one content on TikTok, on everything.
So yeah, the good thing now though is that Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok,
That just shows my age.
3-minute limit on now for Instagram Reels and for YouTube Shorts. So you can go up to 3 minutes on those platforms. TikTok, you can go to like 10. I've seen 20-minute videos on TikTok. I can go long on that. But
And even YouTube Shorts is starting to get extremely popular. When I upload your listings, I often use the reels on the YouTube Shorts. We get more plays on the YouTube Shorts than we do on the full-fledged property video.
Yeah.
By like triple the amount. of
yeah, YouTube Shorts is good. Facebook Reels,
Yeah.
very popular now.
Yeah.
People don't realize
Very,
that.
very
Very popular. We've grown from like 1,000 followers for Andrew to I think we're at 22,000 in like 6 months of really pumping the
If
so
you
like,
use the Meta platform to upload the reels, you can automatically share it on your stories at the same
Yeah.
time.
No.
So speaking of that, the next part of this is how to make this seem like not a full-time job. There's a lot of tools in it. You could leverage AI. I don't really talk about that too much right now because it's more about like the full structure of how to research, script and record. But this is how to make it as smooth as possible where you can get as much content recorded and stay consistent without trying to, you know, basically make it a full-time job, because it can be.
It is, it's called the social
Yeah.
media manager.
So, I'm gonna go into the next 4 steps now. Now that we know what the easy videos are to make and what your minimal viable content is, I want to go into the 4 steps on how to actually go from I have no idea what to do to I have 6 posts a week that I can post every single day, like once a day for a week. So 4 steps. The first step is research and ideation creation. So it's figuring out the research and coming up with the ideas. Second step is how to script out the content. Third step is record and edit. And then the 4th is actually post the content. We're going to go into the research. That is probably going to take the most time of everything that we're doing and also of this class in general. There's two ways I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the easy way. That's really simple and works really fast. And then I'm gonna show you the advanced way that will take a little longer, but good time, you're gonna get a lot better results doing it this way. And ChatGPT, always great source. I'm not gonna talk about that on this. But yes, definitely leverage that with everything you're doing. So the first way is you're going to actually use Google, and you're going to have a Google sheet that looks like this. I can send you guys an example of this after so you guys all have it. But this essentially has 5 columns in it. It has your bucket, which is basically your talking points. So my niche or my audience is going to be home buyers, investors, mortgage financing, and home sellers. You pick whatever works for you. You could have 5, you could have 10, you could have however many you really want to segment yourself into. Then we're going to have topics and questions. And then we're going to have 3 video columns. These are all going to be with those 5 video types that we had. So talking head, conversation, question, answer, reaction, multitasking. So all you have to do to research ideas, if you have no idea where to start, is just go over into Google, and you are going to search a question related to one of your buckets. So I'll start with, if I look at my buckets here, I'll start with home buyers. So I'm going to go to Google, and I'm simply just going to type in first time home buyer tips.
Why wouldn't you do this in ChatGPT?
You can. I just like to do it in Google because ChatGPT, you kind of have to refine stuff. This is just actually what people are searching right now. The reason I'm doing it in here, though, you'll see is if you scroll down, there's this people also ask area. And every time you open and close this, more and more questions pop up. And then you eventually get a nice long list of questions that people have actively searched and looked for on Google.
But using ChatGPT, if you have the pro version, it's a lot more in depth, and right now, ChatGPT is becoming the next search engine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very quick.
So I agree. The one reason I want to stay away from ChatGPT for now, though, is because a lot of people, when they're doing their video scripts and writing their videos and coming up with their ideas, they like live and die by ChatGPT, and then they won't even tweak or adjust or take anything. And that's like the big red flag with it, which is why I'm showing it this way, just because of that. People get in the rabbit hole. I even catch myself doing like, oh, ChatGPT said this, cool, let's use it. And then it's like, oh, I could have probably changed it or made it a little bit better.
Personal.
Yeah. So essentially all you have to do now, though, is now that you have all these questions here, you go through and just pick out the ones that you think are good for make a video about. So for example, let's see if I want to
And real
do.
quick, also guys, keep in mind, ChatGPT is basically like, a college intern or an entry-level employee. They know the basics of it, but you need to fully understand how to do this yourself first before you can leverage someone else to do the heavy lifting for you, so that you can finesse it and make it you at the end. If you haven't been doing this, you don't have that skill. Like Greg can take a ChatGPT script, look at it quickly and go, oh, you know what? I need to change these because that will optimize better, things like that. You need to learn how to do it manually, so that way then you can leverage someone else to do it. It would be the same thing as hiring an employee. You can't hire an employee just to do something that you have no idea how it works either, because you don't know how to train them.
Yeah, I think what I learned from the conference is that you have to train ChatGPT.
Yes.
So
Correct.
that they're your assistant, so you gotta train them before they can actually do anything.
So you need to know how to do it first before then you can then rely
Mm.
on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's the thing, keep in mind on that.
A great example of that too is like what I do when I'm coming up with content on ChatGPT. I have took the transcripts of videos that have gone viral for Andrew. I've uploaded that into one column and told it to like analyze all this, see common trends, and then recreate stuff like that. So it's already proven, it's already worked, and that was all from stuff that we created on our end first. But for this, easiest way though, quickly, you just look through this and you find questions that you could answer. So what to avoid when buying a home, I could just copy this. I'm just gonna go and paste it into this sheet here. I'm gonna make sure that it is home buyers, and then I'm gonna pick, okay, I could do this in a talking head. I could have someone ask me this question, and then I can find a video on Instagram that is talking about this, has gone viral, and I'll just react to it. And you're just gonna go through this and you're going to pull out as many questions as you can that you think you can answer. What is mistake of first time home buyers? Copy that, put that in here. Same process, go through. Eventually.
Your weekly fee to do all this for us?
Exactly.
So after doing all of this and going through, and you're gonna do this for each of your buckets, you're gonna try and pull, if you have 4 buckets, you pull 5 to 10 of that, you have enough content in there for a month. So eventually, when you're done doing all that, you'll have a list of, 5 to 10 questions per each one, plus 3 different styles of videos. So if you find 5 for each and you have 20 things, if you do 3 versions of those 20, you have 60 videos for just 1 month. But realistically, for you guys, you could have 60 videos for 2 months, for 3 months, however you guys want to space it out. So that's really the quick and easy way to do it. Go to Google, search a question, scroll down to the people also ask, open and close this tab a bunch of times, and you could find questions that people are actively searching on Google. People who are actively looking into it.
Number of, like, how many people are asking those questions, so you have an idea what questions are more.
You can go through like the Google backend. There's like a Google Search Console when you're running ads that you could search a keyword and you could see other questions and how much is searched. A little bit more into it.
A lot of these are considered long tail keywords.
Yeah.
So it's more of a sentence, and it takes a little bit more research.
And yeah, here's the other thing, guys. You are also part of this. Like any of these, like if you're going through these questions and you're like, in my 20 years in real estate, I've never had a buyer ask me what the 30-33 rule is in home buying. Don't do a video on that. One, you don't know what it is. You've never had anyone ask you what that is. So it's
don't know
not
what that
pertinent to you in that time, okay?
Because then I'll have to go research.
Exactly, like,
Like an hour.
and notice Greg is only pulling the question and then how the format you're gonna answer it. You should only pull questions you know how to answer. Think of it as if one of your buyers asked you this question, how would you answer it? You're not putting on a show, like you are just being yourself and answering the questions your buyers ask you or your sellers ask you already. So the best thing would be, as you're going throughout your day to day, start taking down, like, what are the questions that buyers ask me all the time? What are the things I'm constantly explaining over and over again? That's a good place to start with all this.
What age should I move out?
So that is the quick and easy way to pull these questions. Honestly, you could pull 20 questions and come up with 20 different content ideas I did 2 in like 2 minutes. You could do 30 minutes, you have 60 content ideas.
You can get the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll send that over. That's the easy way.
And again, like anything else that we ask, this is what calendar blocking will do. You know what I mean? You put in on what day you're gonna do this, you knock it all out in your 30 minutes or whatever it is.
And then the reason you want to do this and also the next version is because one of the reasons why no one ever records videos is because they have no idea what to talk about. Now you will literally never run out of ideas on what to talk about.
I think the biggest fear is how they look, how they sound, embarrassed, maybe I should do it again, I don't look right. So
I will say that is actually not the biggest thing though.
Right.
Like, and you can look online, what are the videos that get the most trends? What are the videos that you find yourself watching? It's not polished news anchors on TV reading from a teleprompter. You're watching people with a camera like this, talking to it and doing their makeup.
That's
Like,
true.
honestly, I watched that
You don't
woman doing
realize
makeup and I'm watching her do the makeup while listening to what she's saying. Cause I'm kind of like, what the hell is she putting brown smears on her face? Like, I don't know what the word contour means.
That was a new trend too.
Does it matter? Yes, I am though, but little things are gonna fall in there. Like, it goes both ways. Whatever stopped the scroll and got them to look at originally, that's the thing. So don't focus too much on how you look and how you sound. It's the more important thing is just getting it done and talking about concept that that people have a need of hearing.
And getting yourself started. Once you start to get started with these, you're going to get a little bit more polish as you go. The hardest part is getting started. That's the hard part. Because if you're waiting for that magical moment, you're none of us see Cecil DeMille. And there's probably 3 people and 4 people that know who Cecil DeMille is. But there you go.
So now I want to go into the next thing, which is the harder way, the longer way, but this way will 100% guarantee you basically getting results if you do it this way and if you do it consistently enough. Few steps to go into it, a lot of tools you need, but I'll try and go through it to make it as simple as possible. But it takes a little bit more time. So the best way to look for ideas that have already worked and you know are gonna work and will work is by actually using Instagram and searching on your phone yourself. There is a reason why all these people that you follow in real estate or even outside of real estate, say you're in a different niche. There's a reason why you follow them. It's because they have videos that one get results and one provide value. If someone is doing a video and that video got 2 million views and it's talking about tips to buying a home, there's a reason behind that. They didn't just get lucky. It's because they are doing it. The topics right, the hooks right, everything's like that is important. So what you want to do is really study those people. And the best way to do it is by doing something like this. I have a Google sheet for you on how to do it. But the first thing is you're going to find, 5 to 10 creators in your niche that you follow and you like their content. I'm gonna, just for time purposes, I'm gonna show you my end. I don't do it on a Google sheet. I do it on like a project management platform. But you'll be able to see it a little bit easier. So let me pull that up really quick for you guys and we'll go into that.
You don't have to stop sharing. You're already sharing it. Oh, cool. So just make it full screen. Let me pull this one. Yeah.
All right. So this is probably the best way to do it. So this is essentially just a fancy looking Google sheet. It's the same thing. It has the columns on it. What I did is I searched through Instagram to find creators, and for me, it's marketing in the marketing industry that I like, that I follow, and that have a ton of followers and views. So for example, if you look through this list here, I have about 20 something. I would start off with maybe 5 to 10 of you guys. So if I click on this person here, this is just a link to their page. You'll see this person has 500,000 followers and she averages a good chunk of views per videos. So I'm going to save her. I'm going to put her into my sheet as a creator that I want to follow and are interested in. Your goal is to go through Instagram and find 5 to 10 of these creators for yourself related to real estate. One of the easiest ways to do it is that if you find a person that you like, you're going to go in and just check their following. And if they are a good creator, they're probably following their competitors who do the same exact thing. So you're going to look through that and find other people that might be good. So this person's following this guy who I know, 249,000 followers. Cool, social media marketing coach. Cool, know that. He's probably putting out stuff that I want. I'm going to follow him and I'm going to save him to my Google Sheet. All you really need is just their name and a link to their page. You don't need all this extra stuff here. That's just stuff that I'm adding. All you really need is their handle, their name, and that link to their profile. So now that you know that, I'm going to take a step backwards and I'm going to show you how to actually find these people that you're looking for. I'm going to share my phone here so you guys can see that part of it. All right, so easiest way to do this is to go to Instagram, go to the search bar here and hit search. And now you're just going to search a keyword in your industry. So for me, it would be content marketing. For you guys, it would be, real estate agent or something like that. If you search that and you go to account, you're going to find a bunch of accounts that are similar to that. You can just click on one of them and then see what they have. So right now you see how this person is Paige, and then it has a little dash and it says Utah real estate agent. That's the keyword. That's the reason why they're popping up. So you're going to, when you're searching that, that's what's going to be there. So for example, an easier way to show it, if I were to search content marketing, I'm now going to see a ton of accounts that have that in their handle. And now I can go through these and I can say, cool, let me look on this guy. Oh, this guy's 172,000 followers. If I swipe over, he has a 1 million view video. He's averaging looks like 20-ish thousand views per video. This guy might be a good guy to follow. I'll watch videos. If I like him, I save him. So that's all you have to do. Just search that keyword in there and you'll find a bunch of people in your industry. Once you find one you like, go to their following, see if they're following anyone else that is popular and doing well, and just save those people. Your goal is to aim for 5 to 10 of them to start, so you have that. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Now you have all these creators. The next thing you want to do is you want to go and find the videos that perform the best for them. So if I am on Instagram, I'm on this person's Instagram here. And I go to the Reels tab. I could scroll through and I could look and I could see, okay, like 6,000, 18,000, 13,000, cool. I can go to a different person's page, and I'll use this person actually as an example because he has a very good page to use. I can go through and I'm like, cool, this person averages a lot of views, 200,000, 90,000. So now you want to filter by what videos perform the best, because the videos that have more views are going to be the ones that perform for you. The only thing is you can't do that on Instagram. There's no way to actually do that and filter through best videos, but there is a Chrome extension that you could use. And that Chrome extension is this right here. Let me pull that up for you. It's called Viral Sort. So if I were to go to Google and I just go type in Viral Sort Chrome extension, it's this right here, and you can just download it onto your Chrome browser. And what this does is it will go to this person's Instagram page, and I could activate it. I go to the Reels tab, I click Viral Sort. It's going to pop up and load in here. I'll just take a second. I gotta sign in again really quick, of course.
Well, we could just come to you and you can do this.
So much.
So part of this though, while he's signing in, is you don't necessarily want him just to do it, because guys, he's doing your marketing now. And what's all your guys' complaint? It's not you. It's not personalized to you.
Well, the videos we have to do and all that stuff, but I'm just saying.
But
like,
yeah,
all the back stuff here.
but you
The
need to
back
figure
end
out
stuff
what
would probably
works
take a
for you
day,
and what
and then
you want to emulate. If you can
after
go and say to Greg or any content creator, like, hey, these are the types of accounts and videos I like doing, then they can start helping you build more of that. But if you don't know what kind of stuff you want to do, he can't help you.
Understood.
It's the same thing as we say to you guys, if you don't have a goal on where you want to go, we can't help you get there.
But yeah, so with this, you open up the Chrome extension, you can take search number Reels 24, 48, 100. I'm just gonna do 24 because it'll be a little quicker. Sort by views. And then this will actually go and it will organize the videos on which videos had the most views in that order. So as it's working, you'll see. So it looks like it's working right now. Looks like it just works. So now you see in order 500,000, 508,000, 378,000, like that. Cool. So now all you have to do is go in, open up the video. You're going to listen to it. This guy's a little aggressive, just a heads up. I don't know what he's going to say, but
Spice it up.
Everyone's overrated.
Ever record a video, get up, and then turn off the recording. That is fucking stupid. If you want to be more natural and
so if I'm watching this,
I'm offended.
If I'm watching this and I watch the whole thing and I'm like, oh, I actually do that. Like that's something that I do. That's something I know. And I haven't done a video about it. Why not? I don't know. But then you look at his page and say, wow, I got 568,000 views. Like I could do that. That's what I do every day. I just go in, I would copy his link and I would go into your next Google tab, which I have for you. And all you do is just paste that link in there. I have a bunch of extra stuff, but there's really 3 things you need. You need the link, you need the topic, and then you need the transcript, because without the transcript, it's going to be tough to remember how we started the video and all that stuff. So you have the video saved. You know that now. Now you want to get the transcript. There's a free site to download the transcript. It's called Dovetail. And this, if you log into it, it could transcribe the video. And then there is a free website, Dovetail, and I'll send all the links too. This site can transcribe that video for you. So you see, I've done it literally yesterday. And I uploaded this video to it and it transcribed it. Only issue is you can't just download someone's video from Instagram. You can't just like do it on the app. You have to find a way to do it. So there is another free site that is called Cobalt.
Done.
And you paste the link.
That just means I'm gonna have 1,000 more.
Cobalt.
videos on
I'll put
Cobalt.
a
It sounds like a computer program.
Yeah,
Like,
but
to do-
you just paste the link, you hit enter.
Never
it's gonna
should you
download
ever-
for you, and then you would just take that download, put it in here, and it will transcribe it.
All these people, all these followers probably do that, so they know what to do going forward, how do they get them.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how, not like,
Yeah.
and that's how every single person, I would say 85% of the people you see that have a lot of followers started by doing this. It's the exact same framework that we discovered doing it from Andrew, and then after doing it for like 6 months, I realized that everyone else does the same thing. I thought I was like, oh, I'm so smart. Like I figured out how to do this, and then I realized like, no, a ton of people are already doing this.
Watching it.
So, so
And also, I will say, we're not talking about real AI today, but if you guys did want to use AI to help you build this stuff, you're gonna have to do this anyway, so you can feed into AI and like you're telling your content creator as well, what type of content you want to build. So like Greg said, he took transcripts from Andrew's videos for 6 months. Obviously, none of you have videos for 6 months, so you can't do that for yourself, but you can take transcripts from other video content creators that you like and you want to emulate, and you could put that into ChatGPT. We're not going to talk about that today, but you could do that and say, this is the type of content I want to build, do more and more like this.
And this all started was to gain money originally because my closest friend, his son is a boy with no job. And he was making tens and $20,000 a month on, you know, companies, McDonald's, everybody advertising on his site. That's why they want to build up the following. They don't even do that anymore in trades like this, do they? Or is that their goal?
So their goal is the more you build a following, the more likely someone is going to purchase or use your product or service. And that kind of goes into a lot of other things outside of this. Like, there's a whole funnel system on how to make content.
There's lots of different things you can do when you become a content creator like these people. So a common misconception is people hear content creators make, you know, 6 figures and stuff. They're not typically making a 6-figure salary from Instagram. Like Meta is not writing them a check for that amount. It's other companies are going and hiring them to make a video about their content, and then they're making money off of that. But if you have your own product, you're doing that for yourself and making money off of it. And it is, I will say, it's hard for us to say what directly comes from the social media stuff and what doesn't. It's just like in the old days, you know, when we used to put in a magazine or newspaper article, it's like very few people are coming to the open house with Newsday saying like, oh, I saw it, here's the house and that's why I'm here. But they may have seen it there, and that might have been the reason that they came. You just didn't know. Same thing with social media is it's the repetitive viewing of it. And also for us in the real estate space, we know that it's all about follow-up and touching our content, our clients and our customers all the time. I will say, since starting to do more and more social media, I have people in my day-to-day life who constantly come up to me and want to talk about real estate without me ever bringing it, because they see the videos and they just feel like they have to talk about it.
Because you're setting yourself up to be the expert in that. That's what they see, and
instead of you having to call them all the time,
they see online.
exactly. And they, instead of having to call them all the time, they know that I'm the expert because they're seeing it on social media, and I didn't have to reach out to them directly and say, hey, how are you? Like, I didn't do that. I just talked about it on social media and I hit a larger broth.
Not only that, you talk about real estate content. All these agents, when I did a class a few months ago, which, you know, they take their farm area and they'll go in front of a new restaurant that just opened and blah, blah, blah. Now that all the realtors are doing it with new clothes stores, everything, because you're an expert in that area. So they're even going away from real estate as realtors, and they still get the real estate business because of their presence.
And that's pretty much the key that they're talking about is
Yeah.
don't discuss real estate, discuss everything else.
Correct.
You can throw the real estate in there in bits and pieces, but don't
Right.
focus on that.
Yep.
Well, it's very simple. You could just say your name. Hey, I'm Augustin Diaz, Realtor with Integrity Core Realty. Let's talk about the new McDonald's that opened up.
Right.
You know, you're subliminally adding it without them knowing.
Getting away from, I'm number one, I'm the top producer. They don't want to hear that anymore.
But yeah,
And back to you, Greg.
that's a big thing though. And one thing I definitely want to get across is everything I'm showing here is not to make you a content creator. It's to get you business for your real estate business. This way is just the way that we've done it and the way that other people that are selling products and service have done it. But like I said, this is the more advanced way to do the research. This way does work. I literally spent yesterday doing this and for myself and pulled 30 different content ideas this exact way, going to a creator's page. Yep.
No, but
Going to creator's page, finding a video that does good, transcribing it and putting it in here. So now I know I have 30 pieces of content that I could do. And that is enough for a month straight.
would you suggest, since they're all video versions here, that let's take the easier step? Get yourself familiarized in front of a computer, in front of a
Yep.
camera, do it. So when you have your first week or month of 30 posts or whatever
Yeah.
it might be, and you see that it's working, you see that your time has been invested. Oh, so that means if I sit here and I duplicate and I do the real
Yeah.
deep search, how much more views am I gonna get? That's what I would suggest.
Yep.
I agree, because I think the big step is putting yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, just getting yourself in front of the camera is
This,
gonna
I'm
be,
not even ready, because it's overwhelming, but just to put myself in front of.
Yeah.
That's a huge step.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
is PhD.
Yeah,
We haven't even
definitely,
covered
definitely the
this.
first way, is definitely the way to start off with. Eventually you will hit a rut on that first way, which is why I just wanted to introduce like this side of it. And I feel like someone like Marie, you might be more entitled to jump into this way. There's also why I wanted to kind of go over that side of it.
The other thing I will say is, I don't know if any of you guys follow Greg's marketing business on Instagram. Greg set himself a challenge and held himself accountable at the beginning of the year to his Instagram followers on posting a video a day. And he literally puts on the video what day it is and how many more he has. And it was to force him to be held accountable to be doing it. And I will say, I look at them every day, and there may have been a time or two where I'm like, I haven't seen a video today. But you know, hold yourself accountable, set a goal and let everyone know about it. Like, start posting the videos. It's literally just Greg in his bedroom talking on the camera.
Yeah,
It's so fun.
it is.
All of them.
It's just, I'm in the same boat as you guys. I do this for, I'm in the same boat as you guys. I do this for Andrew and everyone else. That's what I do. But for my own self, I haven't been in front of the camera. So I'm in the same boat starting this. I know all the ways to do it, but I also am working full-time job, all this other stuff. So it's like, I'm trying to find a way to do it for myself. So trust me, I know how long it takes, how much work it takes. But the more you do it, it only benefits
Do
you.
you use a teleprompter?
I don't. I go section by section. I break my script into sections and just talk and pause and talk and pause. When I do it, but you can use a teleprompter too if you want.
And if you are doing the way that Greg talked about of, you know, break and pause, doesn't mean that you have to pause the video. You just need to pause talking and then get back into the same position and start talking again. And then you send the video, the whole thing, with your pauses to an editor. And they take out all those pauses. It's a magical way.
Cool. So that is the research side. I know we're short on time. I want to quickly go through the next few steps because those are should be a lot quicker. Any
Before we
questions
do
on this
that,
though?
do we have permission for Greg to go over today?
Yes.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
cool.
Just want to let everyone know it's 11:58 now, but Greg's gonna go over.
What are we paying per minute over?
Yeah, what are we paying per minute? Cool. So that's the research side. The next thing I want to go into is the scripting out content. If you're just getting started and you think you're going to be held back because you're scripting out your content and you don't want to do it or it's too overwhelming, don't script it out. Just get comfortable talking on camera. For people that need the script or need something to stay on track, I'm going to just go over the basics of scripting out a piece of content. This one actually, there's not really anything to show. I could show a script or two down the road, but I'm just going to kind of talk and kind of go over the main structure of a video script. So yeah, there's three things to a video script that you really want to focus on. There's a lot more that actually goes into it, but to start, there's three things. There's the hook, there's the body of it, and then there's the close and call to action. I think by now everyone's kind of already heard that. Everyone always drains in your head into the hook. I'm gonna spend the most on the hook because there's three parts to a video, three parts of a hook to every video that I think you should include. One is the spoken hook, so it's the actual words that you're saying. One is the written hook, so it's the text that they see on the screen. And one is the visual hook, which is what they actually see when they first scroll. So your surroundings, the background, everything like that.
What's a hook?
And a hook is the first, like, people say 1 or 3 seconds. I believe it's almost the first frame on platforms like Instagram and stuff, but it's the first thing that can grab someone's attention to really stop them from scrolling. So instead of starting off the video with like, hey, I'm Greg and I do social media, that's the worst thing you do. No one's gonna watch that. But if you start a video, stepping into frame, saying something like, never make these mistakes, it cost me $10,000, and then on the screenwriting, I lost $10,000, something like that. That might get someone to stop more. So you want to make sure that there's 3 things to it. I'm actually a lot. Actually, I'm gonna share my
One
screen.
quickie that you said early on, quite often, because we're self-indulged, and I say that with love to each one of you. Hi, I'm the real estate expert of your community. Nobody cares. Sincerely, nobody cares. That's not hooking somebody. Let me give you the 10 easy ways that you can buy a home today. That's gonna hook somebody.
I also don't have to say who you are because it's
They're
on
already
your
on your
account.
handle.
They
Yeah.
see who your face is at the top with your hashtag, with your, username.
So I'm gonna actually use Andrew's page to show this. The videos that do the best for us are, like I said, they are the conversation videos, but there's a reason why they do the best. It's not just because
He's
these
so good
videos,
looking.
yes, there's nothing like that. It's not because we have a special thing. There's a reason why these do good, and the reason is because it includes a visual hook, a written hook, and a spoken hook. Let's start with the spoken hook, because that's usually the easiest to comprehend and understand. So if I watch this video here, Andrew says,
You make an hour?
around 70. He says, how much do you say you make an hour? I think everyone has kind of been grown up and brought into the world where, like, you're not supposed to talk about how much money you make. It's not a big talking point, talking about stuff like that. So that's automatically gonna draw attention. If someone is openly asking someone, how much money do you make? That's automatically gonna stop someone, and they're gonna be like, wait, what is this person talking about? So that is a spoken hook, something that's really gonna stop them from what they hear in the first line. The next reason this video does so good is the visual hook. This video in particular has two visual hooks.
How much did you say you make?
Which is that very quick zoom in that you see, and also the fact that you see someone's shoulder and it looks like there's a conversation. A lot of people on social media are just doing the talking head and talking, things like that, which works.
I didn't realize that was a shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm like, where?
You could probably see it better too if I go to this video. I don't know if we do as big of a zoom. Let's see.
So how much do you make
Oh,
an
this
hour?
one's even worse. But
So how
you'll
much
see,
do
you
you
can
make
tell
an
there's
hour?
someone there, something there
Yeah.
obstructing the view,
Right.
which will catch someone's attention. They ask, how much do you say you make an hour? So that's the visual hook. There's something that is actually stopping the eye to make them be like, wait, what's going on? This person, it's zoomed in and there's a shoulder, there's a conversation going on, what's happening? And the last thing is the written hook, which is what's on the screen of how much can you qualify for with $120 an hour. When it comes to videos, the visual and the written hook are always going to be comprehended by someone watching over what you're saying. It's easier to read something someone can read something faster than they can listen to it, and someone can see something faster than they can listen to it. So those two things are big factors into why these videos do well. So when you're making a video, you want to make sure that hook has all 3 of those. And don't try not to leave out the visual hook and the written hook on the screen. The written hook on the screen, which is how much can you qualify for $120 an hour, that was put on in the Instagram app. So you don't need any extra editing. You just write that in the app itself. Visual hooks is usually the hardest to comprehend because people think that they need something extravagant going on, when in reality, all you need is just slight movement, something different. A visual hook is if you were to clip a mic onto your water bottle and talk into it, someone could see that and stopped. If you are to move into frame quickly, someone could see that and stop their scroll. If you're eating, anything like that could be a quick visual that stops someone from scrolling. You don't have to,
You could also be putting your makeup on.
yeah, exactly. You don't have to like jump somewhere, you don't have to do a backflip, you don't have to do anything crazy. Just something to quickly, any sort of movement that will stop someone from the
Cracking it,
typical.
frying pan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And also keep in mind, like, the reason the visual hook and the written hook are so important is not everyone is scrolling with the sound on. So they might hear your video,
Yeah. You
audio.
always transcribe.
Yep.
So you always want those visual hooks to stop it. And especially, we know most people are looking at their Instagram or stuff while they're in school or while they're at work, and they can't be listening to it out loud.
Half the time, I'm looking at the videos and I don't have the sound on.
Yeah.
Right.
She'll yell at
Yeah.
me.
I think there's
So,
yeah.
a stat that's, I don't know the numbers,
Most
don't quote me on it, but it's like almost 80% of people are on it without the sound. So
You know,
Right.
I was supposed to say, last year I was at the real estate conference at Triple Play, and it was late and I was playing blackjack, and I said to the guy next to me, what do you do? The woman, sitting on the side of him goes, you don't know who he is? I don't know, that's why I'm asking. Because that's Toilet Man. I said,
Yeah.
this guy does real estate reporting when he sits on the bowl every
I was
day.
gonna say that when you
And
talk about
he
places.
made tons of money because everybody tunes in. They don't show anything, obviously, but that was his niche. And it worked. It's crazy.
His minimal viable content, sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
My son, he's 10, he's autistic, and he
No,
watches
that's not showing
videos
anything
of people eating things or
Thing.
going over cars with the song.
The ASMR videos, yeah, those do really good. But yeah, so those are the 3 hooks that you should try to include in every video: the visual, the written, and the spoken. Next, I'm gonna get into the body, and really the body is just the information that you're talking about. You want to make sure, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that what you're giving away is valuable enough for someone to actually stay. A good rule to keep in mind that some people use, obviously it's not technically true, but you want to try and assume that would someone pay $5 for the value that I'm giving away? If you're giving something to someone and you're saying like, wow, this could actually be worth money, say that in the video. And it doesn't have to be tips and things like that. It could be something like this where it's like, hey, I'm showing someone how much it costs to buy a home if they make $120 an hour. That is very valuable for a lot of people to know how much they could afford or qualify for. So you don't have to be an expert in giving all these crazy tips and hacks and things like that. It could be something valuable enough like that where you're just doing it through a conversation. The next 2 things are two links that I definitely recommend everyone do if you're writing scripts. And I will pull those up, and those go back to how to keep your videos short and simple. So there's 2 things to keep in mind. Like we said earlier, keep your video as short as it possibly can be. And the next thing that we didn't bring up is you want to write and speak in your videos at a maximum of a 5th grade reading level. You don't want to be writing any higher than that. Easy way to do that. In fact, really easy way to do that. And I'll actually pull up the 2 links. So the first one is going to be to make sure they're as short as possible. And that first link is actually called this here. It's called Vidyard. And I'll send these links to you guys, but really all it is this will tell you how long your script will be based off how many words you have. So if I were to take a script, and I'll just pull one up that I already have for myself. Let's see.
So again, if you train your ChatGPT, with
keep
all
it
the
under,
prompts, I think
yeah.
that can do the same
Yep.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
without
all
doubt.
one spot.
And chat, you could even tell chat, once it understands, you can say,
Yeah.
give me a 30-second video,
Right,
and it will pace it out pretty well.
it's all in one place, it's worth the time training them.
100%.
So I'm gonna put my entire script that I wrote here, which is decently long script. You could say average word per second. You could estimate. I just keep it at the middle for if you talk really fast, might speed it up, whatever. But this video will be 57 seconds long. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's not too long, but knowing that, I could probably shave off at least 10 seconds to it. So then what you would do next is just go through your script and find something that like you don't need to put in there. You're probably over exaggerating on, and just trim it out. So if I'm looking at this, I probably don't need anyone would be interested in that. I could probably take that part of the script out, and it cuts down. Okay, that takes out 3 seconds, and so on. Trim it down to as short as it possibly can be while still being as valuable as possible. So if that could be 15 seconds, make it 15 seconds. If it has to be 60 seconds, make it 60 seconds. But use this to try and trim down as much as you can. And then the second one is my probably favorite one, which is called Hemingway.app. And let me pull that up. And what this does, and I definitely did not spell that right. Okay, let me just get the link.
How did you find all these damn apps?
A lot of research and finding ways to make my life easier. A lot of watching other creators and stuff that they're doing. But what this does is this actually will show you what level your script is at and what specific sentences are at a higher level. So I'm gonna paste in the exact same script that I just pasted in before into this. And you'll see, cool. This is at a 7th grade reading level, and why? It's because this whole sentence here is way too advanced. If I look at this, it's saying this whole thing here is 1 to 9 cents is very hard to read. So I'm gonna go through this and I'm gonna find a way to make it a lot easier to read and tweak it. So I can go in and I could say, okay,
Smart.
I
Does
can
it tell
go
you
through
how to
this.
fix it?
If you pay for it, it does. This is just the free version.
You're probably happy.
Into
because-
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's
you
another
know.
good way to do it. I personally like to do it myself just because it makes me feel like I gets my brain going a little bit. It helps me out. It also helps you naturally learn like how to write better or a video script.
This is extremely important because we're into our knowledge. We know this already. So we're speaking, industry standard. We have to be able to translate this into common speak. And that's where it comes down to. Because if you're speaking at a higher level, people are just gonna turn off if they don't understand you. The people don't want to think. So you have to be able to do
Yeah,
that.
but for lack of time, I will throw this into ChatGPT. I'll copy this.
Fifth grade is a
The-
very common.
Most
The
people-
average American, I actually did a video on this on my page. Yeah, the average American, I think, speaks at like a 3rd grade or
Yeah.
reads at like a 3rd grade reading level, 3rd to 5th grade reading level.
Scary.
So
And it means, it doesn't mean that they can't read more, it's that they want easiness.
yeah,
That's why we as a society, we are so headline prone. Cause we read the headline, but we don't move into the actual article.
It's too much to
And
read.
so it is,
Yeah.
we pretend to read at a smaller level.
If you're interested on a product on Instagram and they make me go through a 10-minute video to find out how much it is, I just shut it off.
Yeah.
Because people
Yeah.
don't have that much time.
I've gone down.
Well,
that
also,
rabbit hole.
I mean, you can also kind of look at news outlets that people really like, the New York Post specifically writes in a way that is a lower grade level.
Yeah.
Because they have more readership that way compared to the New York Times, which writes at a much higher
Right.
grade level.
so I just asked ChatGPT that sentence for this to make it a 5th grade reading level. I'm just gonna copy it and see if that actually
And the
changed
great part
anything.
about that, you're gonna find the 5th grade reading level, actually it's easier for you when you're using the scripts.
And I just,
It's just as easier
Yeah,
to say,
now you're
since
on
there's
fifth
no
grade.
complicated terms. It's much easier words to
Yep.
pronounce.
so I just,
Yeah.
I just updated in here. Now you see all that red's gone and it's saying you're out of grade 5 now. So now I'm like, all right, this is good to go. For me, I would also look at this orange one and say that might be too advanced. Let me go through and change
And that
that
orange
too.
one, it's specifically saying it's hard to read. And if this is a script for you to just say out loud, it's telling you that might be something that trips you up while you're reading it. Take a look at it.
So that's the other thing. So if you're writing your video script, the hooks, those 3 things, the body, make sure it's as short as possible and as low reading level as possible. Hemingway is the reading level app, and then Vidyard is the other app, and I'll send those over to you guys too. And then the last thing really is just the call to action, the close. 3 ways you could really do that. You could just have someone comment a word, and that could trigger an automation. That's through a site called ManyChat. It's a little bit more advanced, but that's when you hear people say like comment free and I'll send you over my guide or whatever. They do that. The second way is to ask them for engagement. So follow me, share this post, save this post, anything along those lines. And the last way is more advanced way, which is a loop where you would loop your end of the video to the beginning of the video. So my video started with, this is the best way to buy a home. I would end the video with something like, and now that you watch this, you now know this is the best way to buy a home, and the video would just loop all around. That requires some editing, but it's just a fancy way to get people to finish your video and rewatch it and increase your watch time and everything like that. That part I just recommend with the call to action. Make sure you're putting something in there, make sure that that's there. If you're gonna leave one part out of the script, the call to action would be the thing to leave out. Make sure you have a hook and a nice written body. But if you can, always try and have that in there at the end.
I think that's important.
Some people also like to do the call to action during the middle of it. So if you're doing a loop, you would put the call to action in the middle. But like I said, it's a little more advanced on the next side of it. And that's the step 2, which is scripting your videos out. Any questions on that? Cool.
Would you suggest early on, like we said, making it the easy way? You're gonna pick questions that are easy and short that you could answer, and on topics that you are fluid in.
Mhm.
Okay? I prefer to freestyle myself. I'm not a scripted person because I catch myself reading the script and it looks stupid. I prefer just to know
Yeah.
See the script in front of me, know my talking points. If I gotta write 3
Yeah.
bullet points, I got my bullet points and I just riff on it for 30 seconds.
Yeah, so if you're, like I said, if you're first starting out, and this goes for everything we're doing, if you're first starting out, even if you don't do anything on this, just start recording yourself. That's
Yes.
step one. Step two is then to do the research, start with the easy way, which is go to Google, find questions, and then actually talk your video, do the easy way, just talk to the camera and do it before scripting everything out. Once you are comfortable with doing that quick, easy research and just speaking, then go into, okay, let me write this script out, because at the end of the day, the scripts will perform better because it's structured, and also you know that you're hitting on the points and you're saying the words the way that the platforms want the words to be said, essentially.
Yes.
And by the platform, it's really just the people watching the videos. Last thing,
How much more do you have?
these next two will be quick. The last thing is just recording. Use your phone. You don't need to buy a fancy camera. You don't need anything else. Use your phone, back camera or front camera. It doesn't really matter. Obviously back camera is better. But if you're not comfortable with that, use the front camera. People get plenty of views doing that as well. And you could record in the app, or you could record on your actual camera, whatever you prefer. And just make sure you're practicing with it. Some people say to record your video 3 times, so you get comfortable saying it each time, and then the third one usually ends up hitting. And then if you don't have an editor, which obviously you guys send all the videos to us, but if you do want to do something quick, you could do it in the apps. You could add text in the apps. You could have stuff on the screen in the apps. You could have things pop up in the apps. So just use that. And then the last thing is the posting of the content. Once everything's created, you can post the content. I personally recommend manually posting everything. There's no data behind it to back it up, but I've just seen better success with posting it. I know other creators say the same thing, manually post the stuff.
What
So a lot
I'm
of,
saying is that there's a lot of dispute with the automated systems that post that they get less views.
yeah.
But that's in hot debate.
Yeah, the one workaround around that is if you go to Facebook and you go to their business suite, you can post to Facebook and Instagram, and it's not a scheduling platform. You could actually post through on your computer, and you could schedule things out on there through their scheduler, but it's not using like a third-party scheduler. Like I said, there's no data to back it up, but any creator that I've talked to or that I've heard talk about it recommends manually posting it. One workaround we do for that is our scheduling platform will send us push notifications. So whenever we're scheduling out people's videos, a lot of the time, instead of just making it go through the automation, we have it send us an email with the caption and the video, and we just download and post it then and there. So like we schedule everything out for the month, but we get notified when it's time to actually post it. So that's all 4 steps. I know step 1 and step 2 are a lot longer. And I know there was a lot of things talked about, but is there any other questions or things on that? I know it was a little,
Time for my question.
I know it was a little bit more advanced of like a normal class that we do.
Great class, Greg.
Yeah.
Great class, but again, just want to reiterate that these short form videos are usable in other platforms. Relatively easy, as they are. So you're creating one content, you might get YouTube shorts out of it, TikTok
Mhm.
and other short form videos.
Yeah.
And even on your blog.
Yeah, everyone should have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and a LinkedIn. If you want to go crazy, make a Pinterest, make there's a handful of others. You can make the Snapchat feed if you want, but really,
The core.
yeah, really you need the core is TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and then I throw in LinkedIn in there. And everything you post on all those, because that's what we've been doing.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's 2-year mark, our 2-year mark of posting with Andrew was last week. And we are, like I said, at I think 205,000 followers across all platforms in 2 years of doing it. 70 million views and all that, by posting across all platforms, and doing everything we kind of talked about today.
I got my whopping 3,000 Facebook.
Reels are the way to go. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. If you're doing a video for Facebook or Instagram, keep it under 3 minutes, because if it's over 3 minutes, it's going to be posted as a regular video. And yes, it's good to just get repetition, but those videos are not going to get pushed out.
Yeah.
So
If you end up with a 3-minute video, cut it down to a minute each and do 3 parts.
yeah.
Do a segment piece.
All right.
Awesome.
Was this valuable?
Yeah.
Do we want Greg to come back?
Yeah.
No.
What do you want Greg to talk about next time?
Well, how about just getting into doing the videos? Like we could practice with one another, so, yeah, something like that.
So you want to do a video shoot day? We can do that.
Done it.
We have done it before. We will do it again. Just other people want to do
But
that?
not scripted like we did the day that you had it, like where we can do it off the cuff.
I did that. And Miriam went crazy with
We'll
it.
do it again.
We should do it where everyone has to come up with the research and see
Yeah.
like what they want to talk about, because it'll just get you, it'll get you in the flow of doing it. And then we could also help you then work out like, okay, do this for a hook instead, do that for a hook
All right,
instead.
so
We can
what
talk-
we can do is, why don't we do a video shoot day? Greg, do you have your phone? Or I guess your computer also has your calendar?
Yeah,
Um,
I left the video.
We're gonna see
July-
everything that he did today on his Instagram.
What is your Instagram?
It's Greg does marketing.
It's July 14th, look like.
July 14th looks like it is Monday with nothing going on. Mondays work best for us because Andrew doesn't shoot Mondays ever, so.
Okay, so want to do July 14th from like 11 to 4?
Here?
Yeah.
Right.
What day are you looking at?
July 14th. It's a Monday. We'll do it right after the team meeting.
Oh,
I'm gonna bring probably Sarah with us.
Yes.
I don't think she's out of office.
Put
so.
it on,
Um,
kind of.
Okay. All right, so we'll send out a calendar invite and then we'll also set out some homework to do before that day. So we'll schedule out, you guys tell us and specifically Greg, what you want to shoot. And then we will go from there. You're not sharing, are you?
I
Oh,
have.
boy, I'm sharing.
No, no, no.
No, I'm not. It's just-
You can end the video.
I just, bye, everybody.